Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks are teasing something that has everyone buzzing, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out a very exciting surprise opponent for Sonya Deville and more. Starting things off with a big teaser coming from the Wyatt Sicks. This hype and conversation all started with an Instagram post from Eric Rowan. He took to his page to post a clip of including Yellow Crow with the caption reading River. The clip featured some puppets singing songs and dancing. The first thing that Eric Rowan's clip reminded everyone of is obviously Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. So fans are wondering if that was a teaser from Eric Rowan about some version of the Firefly Funhouse making its return in the near future to WWE television. It's so hard to imagine the Firefly Funhouse theme playing an episode opening up without Bray Wyatt being there. So that's what makes the Firefly Funhouse conversation seem a bit questionable. It just doesn't seem like something that would fully come back without Bray Wyatt. But if Eric Rowan is hinting at that idea of strictly just the Firefly Funhouse location and scenery making a return, then that's a different story. That sounds more realistic to pull off. Not to mention that we've already seen them pull something like that off in recent months. Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas' first interview together took place inside the Firefly Funhouse, where they were sitting down and talking at. So based off that segment alone, it appears that Uncle Howdy still has access to the Firefly Funhouse. So seeing the Funhouse before in those Howdy interviews, and now getting these teasers from Eric Rowan, fans are wondering if this is all signs that we could see the Firefly Funhouse set be used again, maybe in the background of another Uncle Howdy and Wyatt Sicks related segments. Again, not a full Firefly Funhouse episode, but if Howdy has a backstage promo, seeing the Firefly Funhouse set behind him while he speaks would make for quite the visual. Maybe it's later revealed that the Funhouse is where the Wyatt Sicks currently holds out at. Maybe that's their hideout when they're backstage. There's still a lot of great ways to honor the legacy of the Firefly Funhouse within the current storyline, so it's just something to keep a note of because of that interesting teaser from Eric Rowan. Speaking of the Wyatt universe, Bray Wyatt's partner JoJo Offerman recently spoke with Southern Wrestling Autographs, and she opened up a lot about her reaction to the Wyatt Sicks and other things that happened along the way. She had this to say about that question, quote, "Yes, of course, I like what WWE is doing with Wyatt Sicks, so it's like a very bittersweet thing for me. So I love it for multiple reasons. I love it for the fact that his legacy is still strong, and he's out there. His spirit is out there through his brother, and I love it for Bo, because if Windham wanted anything in the world, it'd be for his family to succeed, for his brother to succeed. So I'm very happy that Bo has the opportunity to kind of carry on his legacy, but it's really hard a lot of the times because it's like a trigger for me. And I've had to put my phone down and completely not watch it at points, and that goes back to even Samantha Irvin or Liv Morgan. It'd be like, hey, can you warn me if it's something today, because I'll stay off social media because I remember the Wyatt Sicks debut. I didn't even know it was happening, and his music hit, and I straight up could not stop crying all night. It was full-on panic attacks for me." End quote. JoJo would go on to explain why the Shatter music triggers that strong reaction from her. She said that while Bray was collaborating with Code Orange to make that Shatter theme song, Bray made sure to heavily include JoJo in the creative process of making that song. He would constantly ask her for her input in the song process and would make tweaks and changes based off what her input was. So in a way, JoJo is basically a big part of the creation of Shatter. It was pretty much a three-way collaboration amongst JoJo, Bray, and Code Orange. So that's why when JoJo heard that theme song play for the very first time, again during the Wyatt Sicks debut, she just recalled all those memories with Bray Wyatt, and it sent her into a panic attack for the rest of the night. JoJo says that Code Orange even came to her prior to the Wyatt Sicks debut and asked for her blessing on Shatter being used again, and she says that if they're okay with it, then she's okay with it. Like JoJo said there, she believes that Bray would be very excited that his brother is getting this massive platform and opportunity, and how she supports everything with the Wyatt Sicks. But if something's a bit too heavy and would be a trigger for her, she usually asks Samantha Irvin or Liv Morgan for a heads up beforehand, so she won't watch and will stay off social media. So it's a bit bittersweet process right now for JoJo, and even as simple fans, it's still hard for us to process the loss of Bray Wyatt. So putting yourself in JoJo's shoes, no one could even imagine what she's going through. But fans are always showing their full support and love for them, the entire family. Mandy Rose recently spoke with SE Scoops and touched on the idea of a return to the ring, sparking back up for her. She recently had her first actual in-ring appearance since leaving WWE, and said that it did give her a feeling of missing the ring. She said that her lifestyle has drastically changed since leaving WWE, and how she has more family time and holidays off together, and she's unsure if she really wants to give that all up for the grind again. But she said there's days where she really misses it, and feels like she needs that adrenaline rush again. Mandy was asked about what a WWE return would look like for herself, and she had this to say about what she envisions, quote, "I would say making that statement, whether it was on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, I did make such a big statement in NXT. I think it was my time to then get to Monday or Friday or do it on the big screen. NXT is great, and it's so amazing what they built, but obviously the end goal is to be in front of thousands and thousands of people and big crowds and on TV every week, which I was with NXT, but it was just a smaller situation. But I think that would be the ultimate goal if I wanted to get back, whether or not it's with a group or it's not and I'm by myself. I think the new Mandy Rose mentality of not really giving a damn and going out there and kicking butt, I think that would be pretty cool, an edgier Mandy," end quote. And Mandy's plan is simple, effective, and makes a lot of sense. Last time Mandy Rose was seen inside a wrestling ring in NXT was with one of the greatest reigns the NXT women's title has ever seen, and her career story was looking amazing. She was in NXT to start her career, got called up to the main roster, and then ended up going back to NXT, and fans at the time were wondering if that should really be seen as a demotion or what exactly it meant for her to go back to NXT, and out of nowhere, Mandy Rose reinvented herself and became an absolute, undeniable, main event, top-of-the-line world champion superstar. Everyone was so excited to see how the new main event version of Mandy Rose would translate back onto the main roster. So much hype to see what Mandy would do there after dropping the NXT title. But as we know, we never got to see that because Mandy abruptly dropped the title and was let go from the company the very next morning, for reasons that aren't fully clear. So, if one day down the line, Mandy returns to WWE, hopefully it's on the main roster like she says, and we do get to see that new reinvented version of Mandy Rose on the main roster after all. An interesting path for Mandy Rose's return would be her doing something like Sonya Deville on the main roster. Sonya was Mandy's longtime WWE rival, best friend, and tag team partner. So it would be pretty crazy to see Mandy Rose maybe gather Toxic Attraction back together and bring them to Raw to take on Sonya Deville's new Pure Fusion Collection faction. Old best friends and rivals reigniting their history with a new faction versus faction battle on Raw. If anyone knows Sonya's entire playbook and how to stop her, it's going to be our best friend, Mandy Rose. So as Pure Fusion Collective gets more and more stronger and unstoppable, Mandy Rose does look like the perfect solution to stop them and stand across from Sonya in the ring again. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.